Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, The Little Sewing Room. I'm Chris. I said in my last vlog that the next thing I would be showing you is some of the things that I've made for my husband. I've never made men's clothing before, but with us going on holiday and with the things he's bought for me and helped me with doing my sewing, I thought I'd show my appreciation by making him some things for our holidays. The first thing I'm going to show you is I made him some pyjamas at Christmas, and the pair I made at Christmas were a cotton t-shirt top and flannel bottoms. He really loved those, but I thought, well, they're going to be a bit too warm for when we go on holiday. So, if I can find, here we are. So I decided to make him a pair of lightweight cotton ones, using the same pattern. This is made in some cotton that I got from Pound Fabrics in this camo design. He really liked it, so I thought, right, we'll get that and we'll make them up. The pattern I got, the t-shirt pattern is from Tiana's Closet, which is a free pattern, and I just downloaded it off the internet. Made up really well, not a lot to it, just the front, the back, the sleeves and the neckband. You can download the instructions, but any t-shirt pattern instructions will do, and it's an easy make. The bottoms were, I downloaded this pattern from So Easy. So the bottoms, because I wanted to see whether he wanted a normal pyjama jacket or whether he prefers t-shirt type tops. So he's got the choice now. If he does change his mind, I can make him the thing. But as you can see, they're just normal pyjama bottoms. They put a tie on the front. I've just put elastic in. He doesn't like the ties, and they just get in his way, he says. Both very easy to make up. The fabric I made his top in is again from Pound Fabrics. The trousers are easy to make. All you need is, the pattern comes inclusive of the waistband, so all you do is turn the waistband over at the top, and just sew the legs together as you would normally with any trousers. Yeah, he really likes them. So that was the bottoms. For the top, as I said, that was just the basic tee from Tiana's Closet. It comes in quite a few sizes, but I've not wrote them down. Sorry about that. But what I was going to make him a t-shirt, and so he picked some fabric. I ordered it, and it was a remnant. So I ordered the remnant, and I actually got two out of it. So he's wearing one as a t-shirt and one as a pyjama top. So this is the fabric. It's this lovely, it's a lovely quality cotton with the sharks on, and it's quite a nice, on the inside it's quite a soft feel. So what I did is I made two. I'll show you the other one in a minute. This one we've decided can go with his pyjamas because it's got the white band on the top. Well, it's cream actually. But again, a very easy pattern to sew up, and goes really well with the bottoms because it's got the same sort of colours. So yeah, it's really pleased. So I thought, well, we'll make him the t-shirt. I'll take these off. Save having to keep getting up and down, aren't you? So the other t-shirt has got a navy neckband, but it's exactly the same because it is a t-shirt pattern rather than a pyjama top pattern. I've done the cover stitch round the edge of the sleeves and the bottom of the t-shirt. I had some labels. I used to, when I sewed years ago when the children were little, I bought some labels and never thought to use them. So I put a few in, but not many. So it's actually got one of my old labels in saying made by Christina. So yeah, and it fits lovely. The sizing's quite good on the pattern as well, to say it's a free pattern. And as I say, the quality of the fabric was absolutely lovely, so he's quite happy with that. The other thing I made was, because we're going to Italy, I said I'd make him a shirt. So again, I let him choose his fabric, and so I've got a pattern that I made up for him, but it's a collar that just sits on the top of the shirt. It doesn't have a collar stand, and for some reason on my husband they don't seem to sit right. They just look, well, he looks untidy. It doesn't look like he belongs to anybody. So I thought, well, I'll try and get a proper shirt pattern with a stand. So looking on the internet at different patterns, and I thought I'd try somebody new that I've not had a pattern off before. So the one I decided to go with is this one, which is the Jensen shirt from Wardrobe by Me. And as you can see, it does come with long sleeves, short sleeves. You can even do a version that doesn't have a collar, it just has the stand. It has a yoke at the back. You can put a pleat in, or you could leave it without a pleat, and it's a button up. It does come in sizes 2 extra small to 3 extra large, so it's quite size inclusive. It's a classic shirt. It's got cuff sleeves, and you, like I say, you've got your 2 collar options. So given the choice, he wanted the short sleeve version with the collar. The skill level, it says, is 3 to 4. Some experience is required to master the collar and the cuffs. And because I made the tilly, I knew what I was doing there. So yeah, nice pattern. Instructions are quite good. And it did sew up quite well. So this is the one I've made him. This is the fabric he's chose. It is a paisley design in blue. I decided to put the pleat in the back. I did the burrito method on the inside, although it doesn't tell you to do the burrito method. I just thought it looked better with the burrito method. And I had these, I've got some old buttons that I've had for 30-40 years. So I had a look through my button stash and found these lovely little dark buttons at brought out the dark colour in the background. And yeah, that's another one. And to tell you the truth, I really enjoyed making that. I thought that it would be a bit harder, but because it's very similar excuse me, to things I've already done, I did quite enjoy making that. I will put some pictures in so that you can see them, but I made my husband. Oh, and the other thing with this, it does body height as well. Just put that down. So the measurements, you have body height, arm length, chest girth, and then you've got arm length again. I don't know why you've got 2 arm lengths. They are exactly the same. So yeah, it's that's the wrong pattern. Height, chest girth, arm length. Yeah, so yeah, they seem to do the height as well. For my husband, I did the size large, and it fits really nice. He doesn't like them fitted, and it's not a fitted shirt. It doesn't have any seams in the back, and having the pleat gives you that little bit extra room, but it just gives him enough room that he can move about, and it's not restricting him at all. So that was the shirt, which have all fell on the floor now. And then I decided to add, when I was looking at the patterns to do the shirt, I also came across another one from Wardrobe by Me, which is this zip-up sweater. It's a zip-up sweater with a sporty pullover with a zipper from the neck to the chest. The fit is roomy and comfortable with drop shoulders and side pockets. Make it with a high collar or a contoured banded hood. The sweater is designed for fleece, French terry sweatshirt fabric or fluffy teddy fabric, teddy fleece. So you do have the choice of the zip up one with it's got pockets in the sides, and then it's the same one, but instead of doing the collar you do the hood, but it was the sweater one that we wanted to do. This one comes from size 2XS up to 4XL. Again, it does the body height, the arm length, the chest girth, and I decided to colour block it instead of doing it in a one fabric. So I bought 2 lots of sweatshirting fabric from, I think it was eBay, and it was extra wide fabric. I didn't realise when I bought it. So when it came, I decided I wanted to do it colour block, so I asked what colours he wanted to use, put them together. So he decided to go for a wine and a navy. So this is the first one. Because it was extra wide, when I ordered the fabric, there was enough to actually make 2 sweatshirts out of it, 2 sweaters out of it. So I did one colourway, and then the other was the opposite. So it's quite a nice weight, a nice quality as well for the sweatshirting. It comes with the zip that you put in, and it goes into the ribbed part of the collar. So as you can see, if you stand the collar up, it will zip right up to the top. it just goes to the yoke seam, and then it's got the side pockets which you do stitch on the outside so that they are actually fitted to the front of the jumper. And then I just did it plain on the back, but having to order the rib from somewhere separate, there is a slight colour difference between the jumper and the ribbing, but in daylight you can't really see it as much, so it is quite happy with that. So that was the one that I did first. Knowing I was colour blocking it, you know how it is sometimes. You know what you're doing, you sit down and you think, right, I know what I'm doing, get on with it. So there I am sewing away, and then all of a sudden I thought, why is it all the same colour? So instead of doing the maroon for the yoke, I'd use the navy. And it was because I'd sewn, you do the shoulder seams first, and then you do the collar, and then you put the zip in. And I was looking for the zip and thinking about the zip, and I thought, why is everything the same colour? And then I realised that instead of colour blocking it, because I cut them both out together. So I'd got the blue yolks and the wine yolks all cut out. And although I'd put them in separate sewing envelopes, project envelopes, I took them both out and I'd put the wrong yoke onto the jumper. So then I had to undo all the seams, and luckily enough I hadn't put the zip in and I hadn't put the collar on, so I'd got the side seams to undo, which I did, and then I put it back together. So that is the blue with the maroon yoke, and this one is the maroon one with the navy yoke, and I think they turned out really nice. I do like the style of this. It has got a couple of jumpers that are this sort of style anyway, but they're all just one colour. The ribbon on this one matches quite a lot better. It's more of a mottled ribbon, which adds to the style with the navy. I did have a few problems when I was doing the pocket. I started doing the pocket, and you have to put like a interfacing on the inside, but it's fabric, just to make it more stable. And when I first put it in, I'd put it, you have to put it higher than where it seals, so you have to put it up here where the pocket finishes there. Sorry. So you have to put it starting from up here where the pocket finishes there. So when you've done it, you've got this extra support and the extra reinforcement of when you're putting your hands into the pocket, so it doesn't give way. So I had to take those off and do them. Some days I can sit down and I can sew, and everything just seems to, same as that, everything seems to be, it's one of those days, every time I touch something it falls down. Every time, since I've not been very well, it seems to give me a bit of a fogged brain, because whenever I start to do something, I'll start it and then I'll look and I think, well, why have I done that? I've done that wrong. And I seem to be struggling a bit at the minute with some of the things I've been sewing. So that's the things I've made so far for my husband. He's quite happy with everything. I'd really like to make him another shirt, although he says he's got enough because he has got a wardrobe full. And I quite enjoyed sewing all of those things up. The pyjamas were quick sew. The t-shirts were quick sew. I managed to do both t-shirts within perhaps 3 hours. That was nipping and doing things in between. You know how you are. You don't always get to sit down and do 3 hours of straight sewing. And then a couple of days later I did the pyjama bottoms, which took perhaps an hour and a half. So I can have a good day sometimes, and then another day I can just have one of those nightmare days. But anyway, that's the things I've made for him up to now. And I'm hoping when we go into the stitching show on Sunday, it's Friday today, and you know, we might see some patterns there, and I might see something that I want to get to make him something different. I have got the pattern cut out for the jacket. What is it called? The Ilford jacket. So I've got that cut out ready. The fabric, is washed, ironed, and probably creased again. Is in this stone cotton twill. I don't know if you can see that. So that's quite a nice, it's quite a nice weight. So that's patterns cut up ready. It's on my board just here waiting. So that's another thing that I'm going to do. And then after that, it's see what I get when I go to the stitching show, because when I went last year, it was the first time I'd been, and I didn't know what to expect. And you walk around and you think, oh that's nice, oh that's nice, oh that's nice, and I could have spent hundreds and hundreds. But I tried to limit myself. I go with a budget, and I stick to my budget. I think this time I'm going to be looking for things like labels and, you know, small things as well as fabric, and look at patterns and see what sort of patterns take my fancy, to try and do something a little bit different. I am trying to do things now that sort of push me a little bit. Same as the collar stand. When I first did it, I must have had 4 attempts at the first Lyra dress I did. I put it together as I thought you were supposed to, and then when it come to putting it on to the dress, I'd sewn the bottom up instead of leaving that open. So I unpicked that. Whereas now I've made a couple of Lyras. I've made a couple of I've made the shirt dress that had a collar stand. I've made a blouse that's got a collar stand, and I've made the Colin shirt that has a collar stand. So I'm getting quite good at that. Another thing that I've done a few of is invisible zips. It was one of the things that I used to hate sewing years ago when I did it when the children were small. I could never get the zip to look right. So even on the jumpers, at the top, because you had to turn the rib over at the top on these jumpers, you've got to make sure that you got it right, else you couldn't get your rib to turn over. And it is slightly wider at the top than it is at the bottom, and on that side it's slightly smaller at the top than it is at the bottom. But that's because I'm trying to get it in with the ribbing on, because you need the ribbing on to do it. And you're sort of sewing blind on the back. But I've done it, and they look quite good when they're closed. So I'm quite chuffed with that. I mean, I know you're probably not supposed to see. I don't know whether it shows realities on there or not. Oh no, that's about right. Yeah, so it is about right. But I have done a couple of things that's, you know, I've done a skirt, a couple of dresses that have had invisible zips in. But I always have to double think. I always think, right, you put it on this way. And I do it. In fact, the last one I did, I put it on, thought, right, have I done it the right way? Looked at it and I thought, no, that's wrong. So I took it off. Luckily I'd only pinned it. So I put it back on, and then I thought, no, that's the wrong way. So I'd done it right in first place, but I just started myself. And that's how I can get with some things when I'm sewing. So it's just a matter of, you know, double checking, because I sometimes check things because I'm not sure I've done it right. I've done it right and I'll change it and do it wrong. So now I tend to check 2 or 3 times before I actually sew anything. So for my next vlog, it may be a fabric haul, depending on what I get while I'm at the show. I do have the things that I have made up to now in March. I've got a couple of livers and what I'm wearing. But I'll do these on my next vlog. So it's either going to be what I've bought at the show, or what I've done in March. Seeing as we're only halfway through, there's a chance that I might get 1 or 2 other things done before the end of March anyway. But I'd like to thank everybody who has liked and subscribed, and if any of you are new out there and you'd like to subscribe, that would be lovely. That would help me get out to more people. I did find it quite daunting when I started doing these vlogs, and I've noticed that since I've done mine that there's quite a few new vloggers out there of the mature generation, shall I say, and it's lovely to see, because it's one of those things that you do when you get to a certain age, you just don't know what to wear, and you don't know. When I was young, when people got old, they wore old people's clothes, which were different to what the other people wore. Don't have that now. There's no old people's clothes, there's clothes. But you just want to make sure that you're wearing something that is appropriate and that doesn't make you look stupid. And trying to find what that is without it costing a lot of money. Because, I mean, if you went out buying clothes, it's not so bad now that you can start and try things on again, but when you went through the pandemic, you weren't allowed to try clothes on. So you were ordering them either online or you were buying them, but you couldn't try them on until you got home, and then you thought, oh, I can't be bothered to take it back. So I must admit that since the pandemic, I think I've bought a couple of jumpers, some bras, and shoes. So besides never making a bra, and I won't know where to start, I have downloaded a pattern to make some pants. So with some of the waist jersey fabric, I'm going to have a go at doing that. I need to get some elastic, and when I've got that I shall have a go. That's something I'm looking forward to, something I've never done. So yeah, so besides things that like shoes, I can't make shoes, so you know, you've got to buy those. I'm just trying to think more about what I make. Will I wear it? If I'm not going to wear it, it's a waste of time making it. But the trouble is, like I said, because you're not sure of your style and what suits and what's age appropriate, you sometimes think, nah, I'll make that. You make it and you think, now, does this look all right, or do I look as though I'm trying to be 20 again? So you do tend to think it would be helpful to see other people of my sort of age and see what they make and see what they want to wear, and it makes you feel a bit better that you're not making something that is not appropriate. I do enjoy making things. It doesn't matter what they look like, but it's no good making them and spending the money if they're not going to get worn. So I'm glad to see that there's more people taking up the challenge of vlogging. It's not easy, but I'm not very technical, and it used to take me, whenever I was doing anything when I had the shop, we had to do everything on computer. And when I used to, if ever I got stuck, I'd ring my husband up. I'm stuck, this has happened and I don't know what to do, and he'd tell me over the phone, and if he couldn't tell me over the phone, he'd come up and help me. So I'm not very technical, but it's another thing that I've learned, that you've got to put yourself out there and try, same as having an online bank account. I'd never thought I'd have an online bank account, and I'm still a bit dubious about them. I'm always worried if I can't think where my phone is in case I've lost it and it's got my bank things on it, but you know, I've got there and I've got through everything. So it's nice to see other people having a go, and you know, I wish everybody all the luck, and hope they're enjoying it, because it is enjoyable. Even if I don't get many subscribers, I enjoy doing it, and if people are out there enjoying it, then I'll continue to do it. So I hope you all have a good week. I hope you all manage to get some sewing done, and let's hope that the weather stays nice. It's been quite warm today. It's got up to 14 degrees, which after the snow we had last week and minus figures, it's nice to be able to see some sun. So I'll wish you all a good week, and I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.